everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Mangatama here, and today I am so excited to be sharing this video with you guys. To be fair, it's a bit overdue, but I still get a lot of DMs and questions on how to actually start a manga collection because I know it can seem really overwhelming in the beginning. So today I want to share with you guys on how to start your own manga collection even if you're on a budget. I'll be sharing with you guys my tips on where to buy, how to organize your collection, how to maintain your budget, and a lot of extra tips. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing to think about when starting your manga collection is what kind of manga do you want to collect? And I know that this is a huge question and it can feel really overwhelming to want to collect all genres or have all the manga in the world, but it's important to think about what you actually like. Are you more into shonen series like One Punch Man or Black Clover? Or maybe you love the drama and romance of a good shoujo series like Fruits Basket. And if you have completely no idea what you like yet, that's completely okay. I recommend starting out with slice of life or comedy series because those are really hard to hate. And I know while you're thinking about all the manga that you could possibly buy, you might get a little tired from thinking so much. So in those times, I like to play Raid Shadow Legends. So thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Raid Shadow Legends is one of the top RPG games available on mobile and PC, and it's perfect for when you need a break between reading manga. Raid takes place in a fantasy world where you can build a team of epic champions and battle through hundreds of levels and with other people. And the artwork in Raid is incredible. If you're a fan of fantasy art, you're going to love the character designs here. Right now, Raid is running one of its biggest events to date, named the Asgard Divide. Everyone can get the legendary champion, Loki the Deceiver, for free just by logging in for 7 days between now and October 23rd. And even after that, there are still tons of rewards just by logging in daily. So yeah, this entire event will last until November 23rd, and you'll have a chance to get the 3 other Norse mythology themed champions with other in-game activities: Thor, Odin, and Freya. During the Asgard Divide, players can also enter the Event Dungeon, a time-limited dungeon that sees you facing off against enemies and a boss. And if you sign up using my link down below, you'll get a free legendary Sun Wukong Monkey King using the promo code Monkey King. So many of you guys may have heard of him, but Sun Wukong, or Monkey King, is a really strong character from Chinese mythology and folklore. He's known for his superhuman abilities, being really smart, and having him in the game in the beginning just gives you an incredible head start. Besides Monkey King, you'll also get Grizzled Jarl, a very strong epic in the game, and at level 25 you'll get Knight Errant, a super strong support epic. There are over 800 champions to collect, and the game constantly updates monthly with new content, so it never gets boring. So if you guys are new to the game, you can use my link down below to download Raid and get Monkey King, other amazing characters, tons of in-game currency and resources to help you get started. So you'll find all the details in the description box below, and now let's return to how to start your manga collection. Now back to choosing manga. When I first started, I went for series that I already knew or had read or had been wanting for a really long time. And also another big one was if I liked the anime adaptation, I oftentimes would get the manga as well, just because I wanted to get, all sides of the story. And it's a great way to get started into collecting, using your anime tastes to help guide your manga tastes, because you're already familiar with the storyline, and it makes reading the manga even more enjoyable and also just less intense on your brain. But if you want to immediately dive into new series, that's absolutely amazing as well. But if you've never read any of it yet, I highly recommend starting out with only getting max 3 volumes physically of that series, just in case you end up not really liking it as much as you thought you would. And another small tip I have is to read a couple chapters of it online first, and to see if you like the art, to see if you like where the story is progressing. And sometimes you might end up reading it and realizing, oh, this is not what I thought it would be, and that saves you a lot of money and time and also space. There are a few different ways to buy manga, whether you prefer shopping in-store or online, so let's break it down. If you guys are looking for that in-person shopping experience, I highly recommend checking out local bookstores or comic shops. I personally go to Barnes & Noble and Half Price Books all the time. As some of you guys would know if you guys have been watching my manga shopping videos, they're always at Barnes & Noble and sometimes Half Price Books. And sometimes you can find great deals in secondhand shops as well, and sometimes even Goodwill. Not always guaranteed. But yeah, it's worth visiting if you know that your secondhand store has a book section. For online shopping, websites like Crunchyroll or Book Depository are excellent places to start. I highly recommend Crunchyroll for if you're in the US and Book Depository if you're outside of the US for shipping English manga internationally. For out-of-print manga, which basically just means that they are not currently being published and printed anymore, so they're a little bit hard to find, I highly recommend using Mercari and eBay for those. And if they're really, really rare, you might find luck using Yahoo Auctions from Japan and using a proxy service to get it from Japan to you. Oh, and keep an eye out for sales. Sometimes brick and mortar bookstores have a lot of sales, such as like Barnes & Noble's, where they sometimes have the buy two get one free sale, which is a really, really great deal. And also Amazon is actually not a bad place to buy manga. They don't have the most extensive catalog, but oftentimes they have really, really amazing Amazon Prime Day deals. I believe some holiday Black Friday deals as well. And yeah, make sure to keep an eye out, and I often post when there are sales or deals that I find out on my Instagram stories. So yeah, give me a follow if you guys are interested in seeing more of the type of stuff over there. So as some of you guys know, collecting manga can get really pricey, so here are some tips for staying on budget. So first step is set yourself a monthly spending limit. It's really easy to get carried away when you're excited about a new series, but sticking to a budget will help you build your collection over time without too much pain. I know it's not always easy to stay within budget if you see a particular series that you've been wanting for so long suddenly pop up on eBay. So I think there are special exceptions that you can make, but be careful and not go overboard on making everything an exception. But yeah, just being mindful on how much you're spending on manga compared to other aspects of your life. But yeah, this is not a finance channel, so honestly, do whatever makes you happy, as you know, as long as you're doing okay in the end. And I've kind of mentioned this several times already, but yeah, definitely do not feel pressured to buy an entire series at once. And it's also easier to stay within budget if you only collect a few series at one time. One of the biggest mistakes that I used to make was just having so many series that I wanted to collect at the same time, and I'd be trying to catch up on buying volumes that would be coming out for 10 plus series, and it was devastating to my space, to my overall progress, because I was just a bit overwhelmed. It made collecting not as enjoyable as it is now, just because there were so many things I needed to pay attention to, and also the money. It cost so much money. So yeah, just kind of narrowing down on which series that you really want to focus on collecting will definitely help you stay within your budget. But yeah, it's important to have a budget to begin with. And another way to staying within your budget is collecting box sets or just completed series from other people secondhand. And oftentimes you'll find that on eBay, Mercari, and so those are a really great way to get each volume for a lot less than you would buying each one individually at retail price. Once you start collecting, it's important to think about how you want to organize your manga. Some people organize by series, others by genre, and some even prefer to color code their shelves, which looks absolutely amazing. So my hierarchy goes like language, the size of the volume, the publisher of the volume, and then the alphabetical title of each volume. I know that was a bit confusing for me in the beginning, and this is totally personal preference. And so, as you guys may have noticed, all of my Chinese and Japanese volumes are on the bottom 2 rows of this corner over here. And within each section, in the beginning, I have all of the smallest volumes first, and then the size increases. Within each size, I organize by publisher, and so the publisher would be like Viz Media or Kodansha or Square Enix, Yen Press. Those would be your publishers, and so I organize by that just because I think it looks neater from farther away on the spine, but totally personal preference. And then I go by alphabetical based on the manga title. That's basically how I do it. But recently I've been rethinking about redoing my organization, because I wonder if you guys can guess right now in the comments below on what problem that may cause. And the problem that arises is that a lot of the series in my collection are not complete, and so they're updating. New volumes are coming out every couple months, and then I get the volumes and then I have to scoot everything back just to fit one single volume in that space, because as you guys can see, I do not have any empty space on my shelf besides, you know, places where I could double stack more. So yeah, I've been thinking about organizing my manga collection in terms of finished volumes all go together. So completed series or series that I don't want to collect anymore, those will all go together, so those will never be moved ever again. And then after that, the next section, or say the next couple of shelves, will be volumes that I'm still updating, and that will just make everything a little bit easier to move, because I'll be moving half of my collection instead of all of my collection. And so yeah, that's definitely something for you to think about. And that's really it. Starting a manga collection is such a fun journey, and once you know what you need to actually think about before starting your manga collection, it will all start to be less overwhelming and simply just fun. But yeah, just remember to collect what you love, set a budget, and just enjoy the process. And another thing that I think is really, really important that I mentioned several years ago is just to be intentional with your manga collecting. Be intentional as in make sure it is what you personally enjoy and not what you think other people want your manga collection to be. And this is a mistake that I personally made in the beginning as well. I was like, starting my manga collection, it's a collection. I want it to be as big as possible. I want to collect every possible manga out there, and no matter what it is, I need it in my shelf. And that was my thought process for, I would say, a good couple of months before I actually burnt out from thinking about all the manga that I needed to collect and the money that was spent on doing all of that. And so after that period of time, I actually ended up selling a lot of the series that I had bought just because I didn't enjoy them, or they weren't series that I would reread over and over again and that I really enjoyed having in my personal space. So I think I've blabbered on a little bit too much in this video, and as you guys can tell, it is a new format, the way that I'm doing this video. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, and also if you think I missed anything, if you have something that you want to tell your past self before you started manga collecting, what would you tell them? So yeah, I'm really, really curious to hear what you guys think. And for those who have not started their manga collection, let me know what series you would collect first. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear everything. So thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and I really hope you got at least one thing out of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!